Hello, JCrafters! This is Nate, your host of the most, back again for another YouTube video. Except, this is different. This is not Feed the Beast. This is not vanilla. This is Tekkit Classic! Yes, sirree Bob, we're back again for another modded series, except we're doing Tekkit Classic this time. So, basically, here's how it goes. I watched the entire series of the Jaffa Factory building from the Yogscast. I figured, ooh, I like the bird noises, I like all the wind noises, I like the Swiftwool's rendering gate, how I can do things with it, and stuff. I figured, you know, what the hell. I'm gonna put together a server, I'm gonna host it, any JCrafter who wants on can get on, so the owner of JCraft and his little brother decided to. This server is open to any current JCraft member that would like to play modded Minecraft. But if you're wondering, 33244 is Joe Stoner's little brother. Joe Stoner owns JCraft. I'm just hosting the server for him. So I'm just going to give you a little flyby of his house. He's big into magic. And you can tell his older brother was helping him set power up. He's big into magic. That would explain why he has all these things, which I know what this thingy is, because I use it to get uranium and ice, and you probably already know what I'm getting at. So yeah, just he's not doing very good on power, and I tend to help him. Over to the owner's house, Joe Stoner, the owner. He is definitely better for power. I helped him rewire his solar panels last night. These are all low voltage, but they're going to get converted to high voltage arrays here soon. I don't even know. To Joe Stoner's house. And inside, he's got some advanced machines I've helped him hook up and get running in the right direction. Most, I think, if not all, use high voltage. The charging bench is high voltage, speaking of which my backpack is almost dead, so instead of using my own power, which I know I should, I'll just use his. You'll be seeing mine in a little bit. I'm not going to go too in-depth in each person's house, except mine, just purely because, you know, I'm not going to be very nosy. As you can see, we do have the Swiftwool's rendering gate and whatnot. We have the chemical bags. You can see what's in mine. Nothing really much. My favorite item in the game right now. I need to go check up on my quarry. I've got a quarry set up with some wireless mining pipes and whatnot, and it's working okay, but here is my house. Yes, sirree Bob. I emptied the volcano completely. I pumped out all the lava, then I replaced the lava, just for aesthetics and whatnot. So these can go, because I don't need these anymore. I was pumping the lava, and over there somewhere, it'll load in. I still have an oil well to pump up completely. I was trying to get a refiner to work, but it just takes up too much MJ. Ah, I'm on fire. Watch, I'm gonna be extinguished before I hit the water. Oh, okay, maybe I wasn't that time. So yes, I believe in a lot more security. I don't necessarily want Joe Stoner and his little brother coming in, because I know I have a reactor in here, and yeah. I'm just a little anal about security. This teleporter isn't hooked up to anything. This teleporter, on the other hand, it's hooked up to my main, I guess you could say, room. I believe in heavily with red power. I believe in nuclear reactors all the way, and I have taken proper safety precautions. So this switch basically, let me just give you a whole rundown of the base. This is the main power production. The nuclear reactor powers a lava maker thingy, whatever it is. It gets stored in a tank. It gets pumped out to geothermal generators. This is not all of them. I have more in the nether. Which Joe Stoner set up just for charging. This MFSU here is the only MFSU. It charges an MFE under this teleporter, and 2 up there for those 2 teleporters you saw. And it also powers this bat box, which, if you walk in here, is my machine room. These are all low voltage. I'm not concerned with running medium voltage. I've got a basic smelting setup, as you as you saw, so I can have pipes running through the entirety of this base, whatever you want to call it. Just chests full of stuff. How I got that spawn egg, I don't know. Although, that probably wasn't the world's best idea. Okay, that was gonna blow up right next to this chest. That was not gonna be good. My whole goal with this was to be able to live underground and not have to worry about going above ground for anything. And I mean anything. This is where the quarry gets its items from or into. This is the power for the quarry, which I actually need to refill. I've got coal somewhere. Need 5 stacks of coal, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. What I'm gonna do is use my energy condenser. I have a couple of diamonds to spare, and I can always get more. Boosh. Plenty of coal. A lot of people are saying, well, that's dumb. Why? You can just go mining for that. And no, I'm too lazy to mine. The quarry is really freaking slow. It's like, I'm just not going to worry about it. Boosh. 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 My inventory is a mess. And that gets pumping and sends power to the quarry, which I have to show you at some point. Showed you over here, showed you this little thing. This just takes me back up. I've got my own charging bench. This is the alarm for the reactor whenever it gets too hot. Right now I have the reactor set up as a breeder reactor. I'll get more into that later, after I show you these lights. Manual shutoff for the reactor, so in case I ever don't want it to run, like when I'm AFK for a long time. Whenever the reactor gets dangerously hot, or hotter than I want it to be, in this case 400 thermal units, or whatever they measure it in this mod pack, I have this red color lamp here. Basically, when lit, run like fuck. And then I have this light set up. As you can see, it actually blinks fairly consistently. Basically, when the reactor hits 300 degrees with ice, it will take it will eat, I guess you could say, a block of ice. And before I get any comments on the setup, I don't care if it blows up. I'll make another one. This is but details to me. So right now I have this reactor set up. Very dark. Where do I have a torch? I've got torches. This is dark matter, by the way. Ooh, I did not realize how much EMC that was. That's a fuck ton of diamonds. A lot of uranium. Anywho, this is set up as a breeder reactor. Basically, in a breeder reactor, I should explain. Okay, so that'll fill up with ice, yeah. I know, ice, yada yada yada. It's a lot cheaper than making all the other shit, but that's besides the point. Pardon my French. In here is a breeder reactor. It does not make as much EU. For a breeder reactor, you're going based off of heat. Occasionally, you'll get something called a near-depleted uranium cell. In a reactor, that's useless. If you macerate coal to get coal dust, and you mix the coal dust with a near-depleted uranium cell, you get a depleted isotope cell. That is almost dead, or that is pretty much dead. Basically, it can't be used for anything, except a breeder reactor. In this case, a breeder reactor is no more than using heat to make that depleted isotope cell a brand new uranium cell. And I've had this running since last night, not continuously, because I shut the server down every night. So if yesterday was the 15th, I had it running for... Shoot. Well, let's see. If this lasts 2 hours and 20 minutes, I can tell you how long it's been running for. So let's see, that went from 2 hours to 20 minutes to 1 hour and 14 minutes. So roughly an hour and what, 4 or 6 minutes? Somewhere in there? I hate math. But yeah. And I always make a point to stock up this thing on ice before I head out for trips and whatnot. I mean, worst comes to worst, it'll shut itself down if things get a little too hot under the collar. But I just would rather not see what would happen. At one point, I was really hurting for uranium, but then I got a bunch from Joe Turner and his little brother because they don't use it for anything but EMC. Because I'm the crazy nut job on this server. It's like, I can use nuclear reactors. So it's kind of like a Beavis and Butthead moment. Got 3 uranium cells here. I'm probably just gonna make another reactor and make it strictly a breeder reactor. Although I think I can understand the concept of why they call it a breeder reactor, mainly because I guess you could say you're breeding these uranium cells to make that depleted isotope cell a good uranium cell. I'm not entirely sure. But if I was to take these depleted isotope cells out, I think I'd average 190 EU per tick. Right now I'm only getting 80. That's because for a breeder reactor, you're more concerned on heat. I'll read the Tekkit Classic Wikia. Breeder reactor. Okay, according to Wikipedia, a breeder reactor is a nuclear reactor capable of generating more fissile matter than it consumes. Let's do Tekkit. Tekkit, come on. Tekkit. Classic. Where could this damn thing be? Where? Oh, is the industrial craft reactor planner actually going to work for a change? Oh, application blocked by security settings. Damn it. Oh well. Where's it at? I'm trying to find it. I can't seem to find it. Cause I know the way I explain it is just not really good. Is a breeder reactor Tekkit. Oh, brother. I'll be right back when I can actually find this stupid thing. Okay, well, first I should really go over reactor classifications. You have various marks, and you're just gonna have to listen to this. This is not gonna be very entertaining because I'm not gonna be doing anything but watching this reactor to see what it does. I haven't really watched a breeder reactor do its work before, but I'm gonna read this directly from the Tekkit Classic Wikia. I'll put a link in the description below if you want to read this yourself. I am going to read it just because there's not really much more I can do in this YouTube video, so I figured I may as well be informative and try to sound smart. Okay, let's see. A Mark 1 reactor generates no excess heat each reactor tick. A reactor tick is 1 millisecond, and they are safe to use continuously as long as you supply uranium. Mark 1s have low efficiency, but this is the price of a completely safe reactor. Boy. Using external cooling such as an energy condenser / energy collector duo constantly pumping ice into your reactor, it is possible to have a Mark 1 with a high efficiency. I think mine would be considered a Mark 2, not now, but it puts out 190 EU per tick. I guess it would be Mark 2. Mark 2 designs produce a small amount of excess heat and will need to be given a cooldown period eventually to prevent the hull from reaching 85% maximum heat or melting a component. A Mark II must complete at least one full cycle before encountering heat problems. I keep it stocked with ice, it doesn't get heat problems. Mark III reactors, no. There, I was going with Mark III. A Mark III reactor tend to have an emphasis on efficiency with being cost to safety. Mark III is unable to complete a full cycle without going into meltdown and thus need to be shut down mid-cycle in order to deal with the high amount of excess heat. This can be done manually or by using redstone. Or just put a shit ton of ice in it, pray to God it doesn't blow up. Mark IIIs have an additional condition. They must run at least 10% of the cycles, 16 minutes and 40 seconds before reaching critical heat or losing any components. I do need to talk about heat levels and what various heat levels are, like percentage and yada yada yada. As I actually need to go back up to my energy condenser and stock up on ice. This is a fun thing. I can let this, if I'm sitting down here watching, I always get very paranoid, like this thing's gonna blow up while I'm down here. Boy. All this talking makes my throat dry. Mark IV reactors have to run at least 10% of a cycle, just like Mark III's. The difference is that Mark IVs are allowed to lose components to overheating that must be replaced before the reactor goes critical. Mark V's, they are the very, great, except they're greatly explosive. Mark V's cannot run long without needing a cooldown period. Having a great redstone timer and skills are recommended, or it will cause a meltdown. Here it is. A breeder reactor. This suffix for designs is that it also recharges isotope cells. Isotope cells charge up fast when the reactor runs hot, so heat management is important. Here are 3 breeder reactor types. In this case, I don't know what type I have. A negative breeder slowly loses heat over time and will need heat to be added manually, or they can be left for a safe, slow way to recharge isotopes. Equal breeders have the exact same heat generation as they do cooling ability, and usually only require users to boost the reactor's heat level manually at the beginning. Positive breeders gain heat over time and require more precise cooldown management for the reactor to remain hot. I would assume this is positive because it's ice. I'm guessing, I don't know. Oh, pardon me. Let's see. Environmental effects. If you have 30% of maximum hull heat, blocks within a 3 wide by 3 tall by 3 long cube around the reactor have a low chance of randomly setting fire. Take my word for it, this will happen. In 40% of maximum hull heat, flammable blocks within a 5 by 5 by 5 cube have a chance of burning. 50% hull heat, water blocks within a 5 by 5 by 5 cube, both sources and flowing, will have a chance of evaporating. This is directly off the Tekkit Wikias. If you don't believe me, you can go read it. Anything that, by the way, I should just put a copyright thing out there. Anything that I'm reading does not belong to me. I'm reading directly from the Tekkit Classic Wikia because I don't know all this off the top of my head. But moving on. 70% entity or hull heat. 70% maximum hull heat. Entities within a 7 by 7 by 7 cube will take damage from radiation exposure. Take my word for it. 85% hull heat. Blocks within a 5 by 5 by 5 cube, including the reactor chambers, have a chance of burning or turning into flowing lava, not source blocks. 95%. We start to move on to stuff like Chernobyl and 3 Mile Island. All systems go. Blocks within a 7 by 7 by 7 cube will randomly set fire. Random lava begins to appear. Thermal heat monitors become very colorful. Sirens begin to wail, and your crew abandons you. 100% hull heat. What environment? That smoking crater? Yeah. Years ago I used to host a Tekkit server. Story time. Years ago I used to host a Tekkit server. We had a nice town, and one person made a nuclear reactor, didn't tell anyone about it, had a metric shit ton of EU, forgot to turn off one day before going on vacation, and I came back to a smoking crater. But that's beside the point, and that's when I stopped hosting servers for a couple years. And just let that be a lesson to you, as it was a lesson to me. If you host a server and you're thinking about allowing reactors, make sure you add a mod or something to disable environmental damage, like especially from creepers and whatnot. But to disable environmental damage from any like players or whatnot is very, very useful to have, especially when you're dealing with reactors. They're unpredictable. I'm not completely sold on anything other than ice, as ice seems to be the best way to go for me personally to cool things down. And that's one reason I love this chest. I have an infinite supply of ice. That's all the ice I need. Let's make some arrows instead. I could probably use arrows. That's not what I want to do. This is basically what I do behind the scenes, getting things set up and whatnot. Just putting ice from one place to another, one place to another, one place to another. I should really consider getting a gold chest down here instead of this iron chest. Still more ice. Yes, I can design a machine to pump ice in. No, I'm not going to, because yes, I'm too lazy. And I'd have to time it just right when to put the ice in. Well, I guess I could have it time around every 1 second, I guess. Details. Okay, a stack of arrows, that's good. Because I really can stand to get some arrows going, because I do have a bow, and with the lag that I occasionally get on the server, it's enough to make me, you know, almost lose a reactor to a creeper, but that's beside the point. I'd like to make a couple of shout-outs to some fellow channels and some fellow YouTubers. One YouTuber going by the name of Cody Justinson, I'll put a link to his channel in the description. He does a sport talk. It's a sports channel. I mean, he's a sports fanatic, and I completely understand. I think he's crazy. And good guy. He deserves the love. He deserves it. He deserves the love. Deserves the subscriptions. I appreciate the 27 subscribers we have. We are still a small channel. We do want to get out there. We do want to grow. So keep that in the back of your mind. Also check out the website for more information, jcraftgames.weebly.com. And one of the members of the server, Fuzzysaurus, needs your help. Check out the website for more information. Anywho, guys, I'm going to let y'all go here today. I hope y'all enjoyed. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and even favorite. Favorite's just as good, if not best, the best method of showing that you support us and you love us and whatnot. Anywho, peace.